You're watching TVC News at 10. But did you know that there has been a remarkable reduction in the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria in the last 1 year, from 10.1 million to 6.95 million? The Ministry of Education says this reduction was achieved through the introduction of the Better Education Service Delivery for All, an initiative of the federal government. Helen Osamide-Akins has details.
Education is vital to the development of any nation. Yet, Nigeria still has one of the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. The Universal Basic Education Commission had in 2018 put the number of out-of-school children at 13.2 million, with 7.93 million of the number being girls, while 5.28 million boys. Today, there is a glimmer of hope that the Nigerian government's effort to address this is yielding fruits.
I had an interaction with you here.
The Minister of Education confirms that the number has reduced from 10.1 to 6.95, more than half of the number. Mr. Adamu reveals that under the BESDA initiative, the federal government secured a World Bank credit facility of $611 million to strengthen universal basic education, as well as to address the first pillar of the ministerial and strategic plan on out-of-school children.
As of today, we have recorded impressive school enrollment figures in all the 17 states of the Federation where BESDA is being implemented. We have reduced the figure of out-of-school children by, listen to the figure, 3,247,590 at the end of the year.
What we are doing today is part of the continuing efforts by the Buhari administration to showcase its achievements to the Nigerian public.
You know, I would allow her to go.
But many question how realistic this figure is, considering that this was supposedly achieved during the lockdown of COVID-19 and the subsequent lockdown, which left a lot of children at home not learning.
Well, for more on this, I have joining me live via Skype the CEO and founder of IA Foundation, Ibironke Adeagbo. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. Well, considering the events in the education sector this past year, what is your reaction to the announcement by the federal government that about 30% reduction has taken place in the number of out-of-school children?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Without a doubt, it's a welcome development. It means the figures are heading in the right direction. So I'll say well done to the government of the day. However, it seems like a huge drop in numbers. And I just wonder how the federal government has been able to do this. I mean, I'm hoping that the data is accurate. So if the data is accurate, then definitely it's good news for the educational sector. It's good news for Nigerians. And I just hope the government will continue doing what they are doing to make sure we can reduce this number to very negligible amounts.
Indeed, a whole number of people are asking questions, considering the fact that students were actually on lockdown this past year as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. But let's look at another angle to this. This past year also, we had the Zebamari killings, we had the Kankara boys abduction. And as a result of these incidents of violence, we had some students and even their parents say they would rather stay at home than go to schools. How do we achieve a change in this orientation?
Right, without a doubt, there will be cultural issues in the country whereby parents will have reservations for sending their wards to school. And I can totally understand because I'm a parent myself. However, the government of the day now needs to reassure parents to make sure they've reinforced the security around school premises, to make sure we've got visible security in schools, and to make sure parents have the confidence to be able to send their children to school. Without this, I wouldn't even encourage any parents to send their kids to school in where we've got all this conflict and we've got Boko Haram issues. So the government needs to reassure parents that yes, we are securing the schools and you ought to be sending your wards to school.
Well, another issue that troubles the education sector is that of industrial action. Either it's that of the NUT, of NASU, SANU, ASU, just name it in the education sector. This is a big problem. How do we solve it?
Yeah, there is a saying that if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Now, if you want the teachers to actually teach these children very well and for them to be committed, you need to pay them very well. You need to keep the teachers happy because the teachers are the one developing the manpower for the future. So if you want your manpower to be well educated, you need to make sure you are investing in the teachers, you are retraining the teachers, you are reskilling the teachers. So the government needs to invest more in terms of equipping our teachers. So I can understand why the teachers are complaining because they need they need the government to invest in them for them to be able to invest in the student. So I would encourage the government of the day to actually increase the resources they are allocating to education. What they've got allocated to education is not enough. Nigeria has got a huge population, so they need to factor the population into consideration while allocating the resources for education.
All right, and as it is, we know that quite a number of students are talented in other areas. For some people, it's not about mathematics and English. You know, they are better with hands-on, with skills and all of those. How could we have this better integrated in the curriculum such that we do not discriminate against any child? All right, it's a person.
Yeah, you're talking about the vocational routes.
Yes,
By
please.
all means, some kids are very good with their hands and some kids are academically inclined. However, whatever you do, you must make sure children have got what we call basic universal education. They need to have primary school education. And then once they move to secondary school, they can start branching out into the vocational programs they want to do. But at least get them the mere basic minimum education, literary skills, numeracy skills. That is a basic for every child. And I would encourage the government of the day that no matter the route they want the kid to go, whether it's vocational or not, get them the basic education. The same applies here in the UK. You've got the vocational route and the academic route, but give them the basic education for them to even excel in whichever route they decide to go through.
All right. Thank you very much for your perspective tonight. CEO, founder, IA Foundation, Ibironke Adeagbo.
Thanks for having me.